Hello, everybody. It's Thursday. You know what that means. No, actually, you don't, because I don't usually stream on Thursdays, but there's just so much news to cover this day. It's wild, actually. I did a news video earlier where we talked about Nintendo with the World Championships, Arcade One Up with what's going on with Golden Tee at Best Buy, and of course, John Wick Pinball, and all the shit B's been taking, weirdly enough, for getting this opportunity. But we've got more stuff that actually dropped after that. There's two things I really wanted to talk about. One is the response to AtGames releasing the Attack from Mars pinball last night, which I had a chance to play. A couple people tuned in, hung out with me while I tried to get, leaderboard scores. I didn't do very well last night. I think I topped out at somewhere around 3 billion. Got a much better score just having a throwaway game today, which is funny enough. But people are upset. Once again, people are just being really critical of the lag. In fact, going into other people's comments on Facebook, not making their own posts, because making your own posts are fine, but going into other people's comments and saying, you have no right to enjoy this, it's terrible. Don't you notice the lag? So I don't know. This community's becoming unglued, right? And then on top of that, New Wave Toys threw out a teaser for their big project that they've got going on with Glenn and GRS Studios. And this is one we've all been waiting for. We've been hoping for. Ever since last September, rumors had amassed that there was going to be a full-scale arcade coming out from New Wave Toys, a three-quarter scale, something that would be competition for Arcade One Up. And they released something today that certainly doesn't look like that. Anyways, I got a couple friends that I've got on here. They're going to discuss this with me and just kind of hang out because it's an impromptu Thursday stream. And like they say in the Jersey Shore, I'm just trying to get it in. Anyways, first up, we've got B from Kongs R Us. B, pinball's number one pariah right now. How's it going?
Bad boy of home arcade is trying to invade the pinball space. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying?
Get out the way. Whoa.
Yeah.
We get another surprise guest we're gonna bring in if he's ready. Boom!
Hey
It's
guys,
Justin.
how's it going? Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you fantastically. JR Superstar, is that your new YouTube name?
That's my name. Well, listen, if you guys don't know this, I'm gonna start going by my real name. My real name's JR, by the way. Yeah, it's my name. So my friends call me JR. My brother calls me JR. When I'm playing band practice, they're like, "Hey JR," because that's my name. My name's Justin Ryan. So I'm not here as Console Kits. I'm not here as Justin. I'm here as JR because that's who I am.
This whole time.
This whole time.
Who knew?
This is what Restalgia's been trying to do on Super Game Room Dudes for months. He's peeled back the layers of the banana to reveal the delicious fruit inside, and that is JR, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. My wife calls me Justin, but that's weird. Sometimes she calls me Console Kits, which is really weird.
Like, when does she call you Console Kits?
In bed, obviously. So,
All right, let me crack open this beer. What's the topic? Now, you told me we're just here to hang out, so...
We are, but we got fun stuff to talk about. This is going to be wild. So I did a news video today, and I was like, all right, I'll probably do another one tomorrow or something like that. I got a couple of videos to work on before I go to Calgary. And then just a bunch of stuff either came to my mind or news dropped. Like, we've been waiting all year to find out what Glenn, New Wave Toys have cooking, this special project. Anyways, a teaser leaked today, and I don't know what to think anymore because it certainly doesn't look like what I expected it to be. Then on top of that, people are pretty unhappy with the AtGames Zen Pinball releases. Some people are really upset about the lag. So we really need to ask the question now, and there's a poll question up there. What should AtGames do? Like, because AtGames have a schedule right now. They have 3 more Zen games that are set to release the rest of this month. They have a schedule to release these. Should they hold off and wait until the lag is resolved? Or are people enjoying these and want the weekly releases and they're willing to wait until the lag is fixed out even after they buy them? So that's the two things we're talking about tonight.
Was that 2 things or 3 things?
2 things.
Just 2 things. There's got to be a third one. There's a third one in there. I can feel it.
No, I don't know about this. I think two things.
What are you
two things
pondering,
is
my friend? In your
we
black
can throw a
belt?
third in. I don't care.
I want to talk to B about John Wick.
We can do that as well. 100%.
Okay, I mean, you said it was
It's
a
just-
hangout
it's
stream.
just
What you
casual
described
hangout.
just now was like we're doing a podcast and I have an agenda.
Did you see the
What?
thumbnail? There is an agenda.
I always have an agenda, Justin.
Oh, I don't log into YouTube. Like I just pressed a button in the chat because you're like, come hang out. I'm like, okay.
You didn't even think this was a live show, did
Look,
you?
I'm hanging out with friends. I'm not looking at chat. I'm not
Well,
doing
that's-
anything.
That's all my show ever is, anyways. There's like I don't have anything planned. I make a thumbnail and just hope for the best.
Well, see, this whole time we didn't know that we were calling him Justin. We've now joined his friend group because he said my friends call me JR. So maybe this is his final invitation where we come into the JR circle.
No, I understand.
that
You guys want to do a podcast episode? That's fine. I can leave. It's okay.
No,
You
I
guys have a-
want you
only
here,
here for about
JR.
20 minutes,
You
so
guys
I
have a
gotta go.
good time with your podcast episode.
No, just
and
hang
we
out
can
with
hang
us.
out later.
Why don't you just
I
hang out?
absolutely
it's not
want
a
to
big
hang
deal.
out with you,
It's just
Justin.
a
I
hangout.
miss hanging out with you, man.
That's what
Okay,
my
all right.
podcast is. Every week, there's no real plan.
Okay, what's the first agenda?
The first agenda was getting you on camera.
Okay,
And thank you
mission
for
accomplished.
the beautiful camera work. I think people have been saying how much better I look. So,
Yeah.
Justin, thank you for making this fancy camera thing happen.
Actually, yeah, all three of us here, our beautiful visage is thanks to Justin, or as we call him now, JR.
JR.
Wow, I didn't come on this stream so you'd start calling me JR, but whatever.
Well, you know what?
Which is funny because you guys have really nice cameras and I'm just on my phone right now. So
Well, your phone looks excellent, actually.
cool.
Nostalgia tried doing that. Like, he's been doing that a lot, trying different cameras and stuff to make his self look better. I told him, like, without face surgery, that's not going to happen, so.
It's a lot of filters you can use. So,
Yeah, he needs the
that's
puppy
what
dog
kids do
filter.
these days.
So, anyways, guys, here's my first agenda item, Justin. Here, I want to do an A/B test for AtGames and the Zen Pinball. Go back in time. Should they have released the Zen Studios games before the flipper leg was fixed? That's the first question we're asking. We got a poll up. We're trying to figure that out now because we're at a point where, you know, I got attacked from Mars yesterday. I had a lot of fun with it. I find it plays almost as good as like it did on the arcade one up. I'm putting up really good scores. I'm doing like ball saves, like, you know, really timed stuff. I still notice the lag, but I can still play it. Not to the fullest of my abilities, but I'm getting better. Maybe it's just ESP. Should they hold off from doing that, even though people are enjoying it, and just wait till it be fixed to kind of quell some of the community negativity? So should they have not brought out the Zen games in the first place? And should they hold off now until they get it fixed out?
I have a fun game we can play.
What's that?
So real quick, in one word, we all state our position on what they should have done, like one or two words.
Okay.
Right? And then we start over with the first person, and they have to sell the opposite. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you
Debate
know,
101.
yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
But why do we have to sell the counterpoint?
It's so much fun.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, you go first, right? It's your show.
I am sticking with the point of put them out now. What does it matter? If people are enjoying them, they're excited for the releases. Like, I actually thought it was pretty fun yesterday. Like, looking at, there's a game available. It's $5. Pick it up. It reminded me of the iArcade days, and it was so fun waiting for weekly releases and stuff like that. See what was coming out, be able to add something, play something new every week. So I'm for them continuing to release it. And some of the builds are pretty good. Adam's Family's rough. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really hard to play. Some of that might be my unfamiliarity with the game, but yeah, that's where I stand. I say keep going. Keep going. AtGames. Sorry, that was more than two words.
Mine's easy because it's something I've always said. Hashtag it's playable.
I'm honestly torn because I think lag is a fundamental feature that should be really really close to, you know, what the expectation of the consumer wants. I think the average user shouldn't be able to detect lag issues. But if so many people are, then that's a problem. However, I also understand the concept of continuous, integration and continuous delivery from an engineering point of view, where it is somewhat okay in certain circumstances to deliver a 1.0 feature that is not fully feature complete, and you roll out changes over time. You could say Netflix as an app is not feature complete. They keep on adding features constantly. But that's, them just coming up with new ideas. But I'm prepared to sell the opposite though when it comes to my turn.
Okay, so before we go any further, I do just want to bring this up really quickly because it's weird how a narrative gets washed away that everybody's really unhappy with, the performance, and it becomes that's the narrative. Is that really the narrative, or is that just what we're noticing because we keep noticing that's the loudest comment from the loudest people, right? Unfortunately, most of the people complaining sometimes are the loudest and most active. The people that are happy with it usually just post once and they're like, I like the game. And then after they get berated 17 times for enjoying it, they just don't comment anymore, unlike the people that are really unhappy. So I did want to just really quickly bring up like the AtGames Legends 4K page. And you can check the other AtGames pages too if, all of them have the same thing. There's a bunch of posts, some from me, a lot from me, but of people actually enjoying Attack from Mars, like saying, I'm having a lot of fun here, this is great. And it actually outweighs the number of people that are posting, oh, it's terrible, it has lag. But the funny thing is, when people are posting, I'm having a good time, that's when people go in and they're like, you're wrong, it's lag, it's terrible. So I just wanted to get that out there. And now we'll play your game.
Is that the group that deletes negative posts or the one that keeps them?
There's negative posts on there. There is negative posts on there. That's also a fallacy. Sometimes.
Which group was that?
That's the official AtGames Legends 4K page, the page that is accused of deleting negative posts.
I would say they're the ones that are known for deleting. I wouldn't say accused. I think accused is not a good term, but known for, has a reputation of.
Well, I'm accused as a shill. Are you saying that I'm known as a shill?
I think you're known as a shill.
That's fair.
I mean, we've talked about this before. Everyone that says negative things about Mike, I 100% agree with them. So, but I'm also friends with you. Two things can be true at the same time.
Hey, we're joined by a fourth friend. It's P-Dubs. What's going on, brother?
I think P-Dubs can't do the opposite game. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm here for the hangout.
I'm here for the orgy.
freaking P-Dubs always copying me.
Where's the pizza?
Hold on, I gotta try to put everybody on screen. There we go.
I got a message from Console Kit saying we're just hanging out tonight.
Well, it's kind of like a hangout with an objective.
Are you doing like a podcast show?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm out, dude. We don't need to do
this. Do you remember that time? Where B was at Las Vegas for Fight? What was it? Fightcade, and then Travis Fight. Yeah, it was Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight. Yeah. B was there for Evo, and Travis was there, and he turned around, and we were like, "Hi, Travis," and he was like, "Lame," and then turned away and just ignored us.
No, I don't remember that.
It happened.
He doesn't believe that we actually have fun and actually chat for
we do
hours behind the scenes.
All right, so here's the thing, P-Dubs. We're asking the question. 2-word answer. Question of the moment right now is: should AtGames continue to sell the Zen Studio packs, or should they hold off until they get the lag fixed from releasing any more packs?
I'm not allowed to say anything. Nostalgia gets mad, so I have to.
Hey, man.
I have to
say your piece.
That's fair.
Say your piece.
I have to behave. So
you don't have to behave. This isn't Super Game Room, dudes.
Well, I thought I was here for a hangout, not for a podcast show. I must have missed.
You are here for a hangout.
Why are we doing a show? We're doing a show tomorrow, Mike. Why are we doing a show tonight?
I can do as many shows as I want. No one can stop me from how many shows I can do.
Thursday
Like-
nights are untapped potential now, man. Like, you know.
I think there is some people streaming. I don't know for sure. I think this is where Arcade's Anonymous, but I don't know what time they stream. I figured 11:30 my time would be.
No,
good.
it's Nostalgia Power, and Tech Buzz is doing stuff on Thursdays now. He's doing a content creator thing. So shout out to those guys.
He did that earlier, but guys, go check that out. And PD7.
So this is a podcast show, because podcast shows, there's the rule of thumb that you can't make a stream. You can't
At
do a
the same
podcast when
time.
someone else is doing a podcast.
Somebody else.
But anyone can do a hangout anytime they want, right? So I think we just proved. I think P-Dubs and I are out, right? Like,
Yeah.
Guys, don't go anywhere. We're just having fun. Why are you being weird? All right, so P-Dubs, what's your opinion?
Well, Mike, when you really think long and hard about it,
told you.
Son of a gun. What's your opinion?
sorry, I thought that was kind of funny. So
It was.
I predicted you doing it. I was like, oh, please do it. Do
I
that
think
where you say
know-
something and he did it. I was like,
Yeah,
you delivered.
we've
You
talked-
delivered on my expectation more than AtGames ever has.
There you go. We talked about this months ago, at least on my channel, that they probably, in my opinion, never should have released the damn thing, but they kind of had to because it was open mouth insert foot. If we don't ship these things, we got to give people refunds. Like they could potentially ask for refunds, right? You remember that? So, in my opinion, they should have just never released the thing yet, because it's still not ready for prime time, in my opinion. So, especially for the common user. I mean, we've said this for months, that the reason this machine was appealing to someone who didn't own an AtGames pinball machine before was the ability to run the very popular and in high demand Zen Pinball games natively. You literally just download them to the machine and run them. You don't need to learn how to set up a PC and buy the games on Pinball FX and all that stuff. Like, that's who this machine is tailored for. Yeah, it's got a really nice OTG feature compared to the first machine, but it's still, in my opinion, this machine is advertised for those people who don't want to dick around with a PC or any other device. They just want to play these awesome Zen games that they've heard of on this machine, and they still don't play right. And it's always fun watching how whenever a game gets released, you see it's like a 50-50 split. Half of the people who have the game say it's fine, I like it, no concerns, and then the other half say it's garbage. You know what I mean? So,
I'm going to say something I've never said before.
yeah.
I actually agree with P-Dubs.
Yeah.
I don't know about you two.
I think it's a really good point. Wait, what was your point again?
I don't even know. I think they just should have waited, in my opinion. Like, this
No,
thing
no.
should have been released.
Yeah. That the idea that they should they had like a deadline, and then what would be the perspective, or they have to give refunds. They were kind of putting themselves in a position where they just kind of like had to do this.
Yep.
But I wonder if I've seen this in engineering before. I'm not saying that I'm smarter than anyone else, but I had some experience with seeing this mistake being made. And the mistake is your number one feature that you're trying to like drive with, you don't immediately test that first. Like it's like, forget everything else, do the hard thing first. Prove that the hard thing, thing that is the most important in this feature, which is exactly what you said. And that's the part that I agree with. The number one thing that I was interested in this new Legends 4K, turnkey.
Yeah.
Turnkey product. I buy it, I don't need to do anything else. It has an amazing UI, turnkey, and I will pay extra to not have to fiddle with stuff. But if their product is expensive and I still have to fiddle with it, then what's the value proposition now?
So really quickly, I want to give B some time to shine, because apparently he's got to leave to go pick up his daughter in 10 minutes. Like, this dude seems to think family's more important than messing around on YouTube. What a jerk.
What a jerk. Hanging out
Mike,
before family.
we're all going to leave you in 10 minutes.
I don't blame you.
So I the opposite point that you were saying, because I said it's playable, yes. I do think the majority of people that are playing this probably don't care and don't notice, because it is, even though once you notice flipper lag, you adjust to lag on anything you play, whether it's input latency. Unless you're playing for like hardcore performance and really want to be like really key, like this is the same with any of the fighting games that people complain about input latency, you adjust to that as you play casually. And so most casual folks, the majority of people, will have an okay experience. I think the biggest point that I'm curious about Zen and what they feel about this is because I felt that when they released these series of cabinets, this was Zen's market to be able to say, now we have our pinball machines, like it's labeled with Zen on it, and then for them not to have it perform as well probably is a big blow to them, to to have it co-branded as something that they have pride in. So I don't know whose end of the bargain didn't hold up in the initial R&D for this, but they had spent a lot of time on their pinball bites having people customize and build a virtual pinball cabinet. That was like a big thing for them for years. It's like, we're going to build our own cabinet, and this was their way to have another company do it for them. So I don't know who's to blame here.
Well, it's actually Epic Games and Google. You haven't been following along close enough. There's a handshake issue between what they're bringing forward to that. They just haven't been able to get past that. But I do want to just bring up a couple points here. One is we're talking about whether or not they should have released it, and that's fine. They were in a situation. Adam's family, they put it on there. Jason Little Alien brought up a really good point. I mean, this was something that maybe wasn't brought right from the beginning. It wasn't like these games were created for the 4KP, not like the Magic Pixel ones were, not like the Gottlieb ones
to
were.
watch like a ton of videos in order to find out that information.
Yeah, like it's something stupid. Like then you talk about John Wick table and you say the wrong creator.
George Gomez actually made John Wick. Like, what the heck, man? So who knew?
I got a ton of Keith Elwin tables, Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
So really quickly, P-Dubs, to your point, and I saw Shotgun Sean mention this earlier today, and he made a really good point. He was like, I bought this for the Zen tables. So for the people that bought this for the Zen tables, it's got to be a little frustrating so far because they're not quite cooked, right? But that's for the Zen tables. But then the only thing people fixate, it seems like, is just on the Zen tables. They don't talk about anything else the machine does. I'm not talking about OTG, but I'm talking about the rest of the games and the enhancement to the performance and the experience of the rest of the games too. No one really talks about that. They just say, hey, those Zen games are bad. If you bought it just for Zen, I completely agree. But I mean, you can't say the rest of the table doesn't play really well, and it's a big upgrade to the original ALP.
Yeah, there's something to be said also about the point. I was talking to my daughter about this recently. We were just talking about social media and other topics. There's this common thread in all versions of social media. I don't know how to describe it. Someone needs to write a book on it, but it's something about community-driven marketing stickiness. I don't know what to call it, but it's this concept that whenever a product is released, people get fixated over something. And if it has some negative connotation, and you can turn it into like a gate, gun gate, shark doesn't eat ball gate, flipper lag gate.
Keep.
Right. It spreads like a virus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something to be said of that ability for that to spread in communities. And then this is what I was telling my daughter. What I believe happens is companies like Twitter or X or Reddit, whatever it is, those algorithms are designed to A/B test things that are kind of sticky, and people will stop scrolling and people will heart and like. And there's something about that, like one line negative, meh, I'm not interested in this product because of insert negative thing. You go into social media, it almost appears that's all you see. And so it's the topic of the town. It's all you want to talk about, because the people that have a positive experience could be greater. And this is the thing I was telling my daughter. There could be a scenario where 10% of the audience is actually complaining about the negative thing. The other 90%, two things are happening. The people that are happy don't speak up that they're happy because they're like, don't want to get involved in all the negative speak going on. and then the negative parts propagate and become somewhat viral in social media. So here we are on a podcast talking about negative things because
Yeah, we were just supposed to be hanging
Here we
out. I
are.
feel like I was misled.
yeah, I agree.
But Mike, what you're describing is imagine the AtGames Legends pinball is an air fryer. An air
Yes.
fryer typically has the ability to air fry, bake, and broil. What you're describing is, man, this thing bakes awesome. It broils really, really well. But I bought it to be an air fryer. The air fryer function does not work. It does not work properly.
It's laggy.
So as
He
of
is
right
good
now,
at analogies. This is pretty good.
That's not a
So-
bad analogy. I understand where you're coming from.
So should
Oh,
I
no.
be happy that my pinball machine can bake and broil, but it sure as shit can't air fry the way it's
No.
supposed to?
No. I think you misunderstand. I'm not. I don't think anybody should be happy with something they're not happy with. Feel free to voice your frustration. My only concern is when someone else says, "Man, I had fun playing Attack from Mars last night." Then someone comes on their stream or their post and they're like, "You're an idiot. How could you have had fun on a lagging machine? You're a piece of shit." That's my
well-
problem.
P-Dubs, does it make you feel better to know that Epic Games is working on your air fryer? And Google.
I'm happy to
Google
hear
and
it.
Epic Games are going to fix your air fryer, not the company you bought it from at all.
Well, continuing with the analogy, I'm happy to hear that General Electric is stepping in to figure out the problems with my air fryer. Because the engineers who designed my air fryer didn't properly test it before it was released. So I think it's a good thing, and hopefully it'll pan out. And I think all of us want this to be an issue that disappears and we never have to talk about it again.
Big time.
So I am literally sick of talking about it.
So
Sick of talking
I'll go
about
back to the original question, what the poll says. Should they stop releasing the Zen single pinball packs until the lag issue's fixed, or should they keep releasing them? Does it matter?
I think they should give everyone refunds.
No, it's 10% coupons off their next purchase is
Yeah.
really what they would do.
Yeah. I like Kevin Clausen's comment in the live chat.
Yeah, I got a super chat to read. I'm not going to say bad about the air fryers because I hope to get a free one. Yeah,
There you go.
he's learned from
There you go.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
And speaking of Kevin Clausen, we got a $2 super chat on our Hangout. Put 19K Fox on to boost podcast ratings. It's always a
Yeah.
surefire winner.
We definitely want to make sure this podcast ends up third in the weekly ratings. So yeah, we got to add Fox.
So, B, you got anything else to say on that one?
No, I've been enjoying my Legends Pinball Micro and playing old games, and I think that's my only virtual pinball that's working right now, and it's fun. It's a fun little mini.
Why did you drop the rest from down the stairs on top of Mrs. Kongzaros as well?
Shove it down the stairs. No, I sold my Star Trek Legends Pinball HD, so yeah, I have a full size virtual pinball that I'm still working on.
Nice.
And the Legends Pinball Micro is enough for me to
So-
play on the ecosystem. So don't leave the HD and the micro owners behind. At games, I still want to
Yeah.
play some games on those.
Think
So-
about it. If any of the big box retailers end up picking up the Legends pinball, like Sam's Club or Costco, and they put it on display in their store, and Joe Schmo's walking past it, do you think he's going to buy it because he says, "Hey, there's a pinball machine. I could plug my PC into it," or do you think he's going to buy it because, wow, it's got, let's just think in the future, it's got Medieval Madness artwork on it. Oh, and it says
Yeah.
I could play Zen Studio pinball games on the box. That is why they're going to buy it. And then they're going to
If
take
they
it
know
home.
what Zen Studios is.
Right. Then they're going to take it home and they're going to say, they might say, keep in mind, it's 50-50 split. Some people think it's playable. Some people don't. They might be the customer that says, man, these games don't run so good, or at least the Zen Studios games. So it is imperative that they get this problem resolved. Oh, man.
You know, you make a good point, but I'm reminded the My Life in Gaming and like Retro RGB,
Yeah.
I've heard them both say this. When they talk about lag when it comes to gaming, what they're afraid of, and they say they've seen it time and time again, and I think it logically makes sense, is let's say there's a really bad product. Let's say, you know, like a little retro console that actually, there's a lot of good retro consoles out there now that like actually perform old games pretty good. But like 10 years ago, a lot of it was crap, right?
Oh.
Like you go buy an average off the shelf product, you're going to have a ton of lag. And so the fear is there's all these people that loved retro gaming. They've kind of left retro gaming for 20 years. They're at Walgreens, they see a little Pac-Man thing and they pick it up for $10. They plug it into their TV and they have a horrible experience. And that horrible experience has them because of lag, because of graphics. They have a bad connection to their television that leads them to believe it was always crappy. It was always that experience, and I just have a bad memory of the 80s and 90s. And so they never dive deeper again. That product goes into the drawer, and they never seek better options. Using that same logic, couldn't there be fear that your person at Sam's Club that sees the Zen Studio artwork, or they just see Addams Family, they just see Attack from Mars, they recognize that, so they purchase it. They do have that a bad experience, and they just say all virtual pinball must have a lag experience. So therefore, I'll stick to only playing the games at the arcade. And now I just wasted $1,500, and they never even know about OTG. And I want to say one more thing, but key it off to someone else. What about how AtGames' previous products did have OTG, but that was the defining feature, like the AtGames Legends Ultimate. You do buy that so you can sideload and hack games. So it's an interesting comparison when you think about the pinball machine is all about turnkey, but then the other one's about like pirating games. Like I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that means.
Don't worry about it.
Wait,
interrupt.
How did you do that?
He's on his phone.
I'm on my iPhone, so it has gesture support.
His camera looks great, right? don't worry about it. If you got to go, just leave. Interrupt.
What is
us,
this?
Okay?
What is this wizardry?
He's in a box right now. I do gotta go pick up my daughter, folks. So thanks for the hangout. If I can sneak back in, I will. But otherwise, have a good one.
I'm gonna try not to go 2 hours. I'm gonna try to get back to having normal length streams. I do want to bring this up. Like I've been watching this guy Mike Bromworth in the chat, and like you can tell he's very very passionate about this. That everybody is making excuses, and I saw this comment today.
I'm not making excuses.
No, no, P-Dubs, we know you're a flag carrying member of the opposition or whatever you want to call it.
The realist society.
The realist. So anyways, no, he's saying that other people are making excuses. Like he's hearing things he doesn't like, so he's saying that's an excuse. But what I want to be very clear on, I saw this today, and this was somebody's sentiment in the Facebook group. They actually said, I'm worried about people saying they like it because I think it's bad. And if so many people are saying they like it, then maybe AtGames won't fix it. So I feel like some people are jumping on other people's posts because they're worried that the positivity will prevent, improvements from happening.
Well, nobody's complaining about it. Why should we spend money and fix it? I see where you're. That's why it is imperative that people provide this feedback. It's imperative.
Yeah.
That's a valid thought, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, is that a thing where you're increasing your average negativity because you feel like that's the only solution to the problem?
Yeah.
So you're kind of hurting other people's feelings or being mean to other people or whatever it may be because you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
So, and I did a stream Monday night where I talked about all the negativity in the community, and I got a couple of responses. Most people were like, yeah, there's too much negativity. Everybody's garbage. But there were a couple of responses saying all the negativity stems from there being all this positivity for products. And I think there's a lot of confusion sometimes that people don't watch like 100% of what we do. We could talk about something and we could talk about all the benefits of like X-Men 97. We could say this is good, this is good, this is good. But at the end of the day, we still state this is not a product I'm gonna get. But people confuse that as us pimping a product and saying it's amazing, trying to sell it, instead of just talking about it for people's opinions. So they said all this negativity in the community is a necessary response because there's been too much positivity for the company.
Justin, I think you and I have successfully traveled through time. It is now Monday, and we are back on Michael B's Are We Being Too Critical of Arcade Company's podcast
No,
show?
it's just a tie-in point. That's all I wanted to say.
You did this conversation already, Mike.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. The reason why I brought up the like, could you argue the other point? At work, it's something that I'm constantly thinking about. So like, just to kind of give you a quick example, at work there's this project, and basically there's a group of people that are like, we should do option A, we should do option B. Now, you might think that option B is, I mean, it was my idea, so I presented option B as an option, and then so now I've been asked to like provide the data behind project B, how much it would cost, you know, whether it has long-term value in the company. And then the person that's presenting option A is preferring it their way. And I suggested, which everyone hates, that I present her idea, she presents mine, to like prove the bias and unbiased opinion on it. Like, I'm going to do everything. It's like a debate, but I'm going to debate the opposite side. I'm going to debate the side that will not necessarily benefit my career, you might say. And I played through that exercise, and it was really interesting because it was like, I did all the research to argue the other point. And I found that, I mean, there's a lot of data to support both ways. And I've been thinking about that a lot. So I was like applying that to like a hangout, or just like we're talking about, you know, should Zen do this or do that? I'd be like, okay, cool. You've made your point. Now, what's the opposite point? Like, could you find validity in the opposite view? I think that's really interesting to hear.
They always say put yourself in the other party's shoes, right? So
Yeah,
you could do that. That's a great, fun little project.
yeah.
But for instance, like a lot of us, we've done content. I've had my pinball machine for a while. I've done a lot of YouTube shorts and videos showing like the Taito games and the Gottlieb games. And dude, they run beautifully and they're super fun to play on the 4K pinball machine. But it's like every time I'm playing one of those games and then I jump into a Zen game, it is a night and day experience for me. And I know if I stood there, guys, for 40 minutes and played it like 10 times, eventually the timing would click in and you'd get better and better scores every time. You would get used to the lag, right? But I don't want to stand there for 40 minutes trying to waiting for my body to adjust. You know what I mean? Because I play, usually, I don't know how you guys play virtual pinball, but if I got a machine that's got 100 some games on it, I play one game, couple rounds, boom, next game. One game, couple rounds, boom. I don't sit there for 40 minutes playing the same game. I play a couple rounds, move on to the next game. It's like pretending you're at a pinball arcade bar, right, Justin? You play a couple rounds, you move on to the next pinball machine.
No, sir.
So
if you find one you like, you just keep playing.
Well, I hear what you're saying.
Just really quickly, Justin, I got to throw a really inappropriate comment in there. Hey, Pete, so what you're saying is you're having trouble going the full 40 minutes. I find thinking about baseball helps.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
So I'll give you an example. So in the tournaments that I do, there's like, there's a Godzilla Pro machine, and then I have the Godzilla Premium. And so I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm really studying this machine, the Godzilla Pro. And it's not Premium versus Pro. It's actually more about this particular machine and how it's set up versus how my machine is set up. And so, quick example, the scoop shot in Godzilla, like it exits and comes to your left flipper. On my machine, I need to flip up the left flipper to kind of catch the ball coming out of the scoop. And from there, I can stabilize it, and then I can get it up like the ramp shot. That will not work on the Pro machine at the local arcade. If that happens, it'll swoop all the way up and go down the outlane. And so you have to not lift up the flipper and let it bounce and go to the right flipper.
Yeah.
That's way different than lag, though, because it's like you're like fine-tuning the nuance of this particular machine. And you're just like, this particular shot, you have to aim slightly different because of the balance of this machine. But your reaction time is always the same between every physical machine. it's instantaneous, right? And so it sucks that you're on the same virtual machine and you're going from Zen Pinball, which you have to adjust based on which game you're playing. Is that right? You're like, I'm gonna pick a Magic Pixel game. I now have to adjust to a Magic Pixel lag create setting. Wait, I'm done with that game. I'm gonna go to a Zen game, and now I have to readapt. And so imagine that with console games. I'm playing Mario 1, and the jump sequence is like this. But now I'm switching to Mario 3, and all of a sudden, like, to fly and to jump over things, you have to adjust. Like, no, you should be able to switch between games and have a consistent experience.
I think what he's trying to say, P-Dubs, is you're not a very good gamer.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I heard.
That's not what he's saying at all.
There's different physics in jumping, and you have to adjust to it, and good gamers do really quickly.
I mean,
that's not true, Mike.
That's if you go from Mega Man to Mario,
that is what he's saying.
It's different.
What
but
he's saying.
I'm 100% sure that's what he's saying. Stringer Films,
right.
$2. Vehicles with pedal leg
topic.
can be a real killer. Yeah. So anyways, we're going off in the direction. I think the main question was, should AtGames maybe pump the brakes on all the releases they're doing? Me personally, I don't think it matters now. I mean, like, the train's already out of the station. Some of these games have lag. It seems like each release, they're getting a little bit better, tuning it a little bit. I mean, Attack from Mars is pretty friggin' close, man. And maybe it's just me adjusting and my familiarity with the table, but I can do stuff like really particular quick ball saves. My reaction time is really good when a ball's going down a certain time. So I feel like it's getting better. I don't think it really matters, but according to the poll and 120 votes, 69% of the audience say AtGames, pump the brakes. Maybe hold off from releasing any new Zen games until you get it done, with 31% saying, no, keep releasing them. So that's what the poll says. I'm ending it now. Me personally, I'm excited. It's like the iArcade days. There's a new game coming out every week this month. We get, Next Generation next week, Twilight Zone after that, and Godzilla vs. Kong. So I'm excited, but I know not everybody is.
What if there was like a compromise where it's like they release Zen in beta mode, and if you're an early adopter to the beta mode, there's $5 off. But once we get lag free, it's full price.
I think it's fair.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
No. I'm trying to.
Why are we paying $15 a pack for something that only works 80% the way it should?
So you think we should only pay 80% of that $15? Maybe that discount.
I don't know. Maybe AtGames makes that deal and says, by the way, that $5 goes out of Zen's pocket.
Yeah, I mean, when they said Attack from Mars was $5, I was like, okay, it's $5. I mean, if they do the next packs and they're $5, I think that'd be kind of fair. You're paying for broken software. Like, come on now. Why should I pay full price? You go to buy a car. You go to buy a car from a car dealership. It's got a dent in it. Do you pay full price?
Well, no one has to do anything. If you don't want it, just don't get it. I mean, this is pretty open and interesting exchange. We're not telling anybody to do anything.
Well, you asked. I agree with Justin. I like that idea. Not charge full price. I like that idea.
I asked the question: should
AtGames
AtGames stop releasing them? Not whether or not people should buy them. Everybody can just do whatever they want. If you want the Zen games and you don't like lag, there's lag. I mean, AtGames have been pretty upfront about that with their known facts even before the games come out, saying there's lag. So it's not like people are buying these and being like, God damn it, there was lag, and there was no way for me to tell.
It's a tough one, right? Because then if the idea that there is a 50% split between people that notice the lag and not, if that's true, assuming that's true for a second, then if they hold off, then the 50% that never would have noticed have to wait.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, let's talk about something else. New Wave Toys released a image today, and really caught me off guard. So, did you guys see the announcement or teaser come out from New Wave Toys earlier?
Which image are you going to show, Mike?
Is this the My Pillow release?
Are you going to show the? Are you going to show the one?
Yes,
No.
I'll show yours at some
hope-
point.
No. Mike, that's the wrong photo.
Yeah,
This is
show
the
the real photo. This
Mike,
is
show-
the teaser photo. Show
Show-
the reveal. Just leak it. Just leak it.
Come on,
All
We've already seen what it is. Just
Guys,
leak it.
we in the Super Game Room Dudes Facebook group, make sure you join the Super Game Room Dudes Facebook group. We did some reverse Photoshop, took care of the blending and the blue overlay that they put. We found out what this product really was on the Super Game Room Dudes Facebook.
It's just adjusting the contrast, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. These companies try to
Wasn't
fool us,
hard.
but they don't realize that we have skills. That we got skills, baby. So
Good job. Kudos. Did you
All right,
did you crack
here we
this
go.
kudos?
so here is the unedited version.
Oh, she must have Crohn's or something and has to have her stomach up like that. Is that what that pillow's for?
I did not see this version of
All right,
it. I
now,
saw
Mike,
like,
put the other one up.
Oh,
I
what
only
are you
saw
talking about?
the upper part. What the heck is this?
Put the real photo up now.
What real photo? What are you talking about?
The one they released.
I haven't seen the one they released. What are
Yes,
you talking
that one.
about?
That one. Go back up.
This
The one you wanted. No, go back. Yes.
the real
I love
one.
it.
Okay.
Yes, here we go. It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Absolutely. What do you guys think in the live chat? It's got to be it. It's
Do you guys
got to be it.
do you, I was so under the impression that this was going to be either a 3/4 scale competitor or a full-size arcade. I mean, we had Stephen Haywood telling us till he was blue in the face, like, New Wave Toys is coming, watch out Arcade 1-Up, they're coming with full-size arcades. This has been going on since well before September. And then when this was released today, I'm not going to lie to you a little bit. I mean, I don't know what it is. I have no clue. Glenn's pretty tight-lipped about it, and I appreciate that.
I know what it is.
Yes, you might. I don't. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, that doesn't look like a full-size arcade. So I'm a little caught off guard. I don't really know what to expect. I have faith in New Wave Toys. I have faith in Glenn, but I'm a little caught off guard on what this could possibly be. I have ideas, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Well, I have an idea. So when I saw this, it's obviously a control panel of some sort,
Yeah.
right? So
I think
my
so.
thought was,
Or a stand, maybe. Control
My-
panel. Let's go with
it's
control panel.
Oh, it's a riser for these.
It's
what's
a riser.
It's a riser.
It's
for
a
the Neo
riser,
Geo and
guys.
VSX.
We screwed up. It's a riser.
Or
Um,
it's a projectorcade.
Mike, get this off the screen. What are you
No,
doing?
I'm trying to find something. Hold on one second. I wanna
Jeez, you
find.
really
Because
gotta
they're not showing
see-
the other side. It's projecting
Hold on. I
a
gotta find
screen
something
on the wall.
So
Yeah, here it is. So for the people
why are you
that are
always
saying,
sharing? Why don't you save these images to your computer? That way
Nah.
you open them up from your computer instead of opening up your Facebook. You always
nah,
share your
you
Facebook.
always worry my messages will get
and
out
you
there.
get yourself no, you get
I don't get
yourself
myself in trouble.
You get yourself in trouble.
I don't
Mike.
ever get myself in trouble. I don't care what's up there. I
Yeah.
don't say anything I'm worried about.
So if it is a control panel, which is what a lot of people were thinking, if you remember, one of the big rumors for the last few months is that New Wave Toys was going to do a Golden Tee.
Yeah.
But then Arcade 1-Up came out with Golden Tee Deluxe, and that may have caused something to happen where they couldn't do a full-size Golden Tee New Wave Toys. Now, keep in mind, that's all rumor. There's nothing to validate that except rumor.
and innuendo.
But what if this is a plug-and-play Golden Tee console? Kind of like a Couchcade. Maybe it's got Glenn. Glenn has a brand new HAP style, the GRS HAP style trackball.
Oh, I see.
Because keep in mind too, Glenn also said months ago the only leak he gave people is whatever they were working on was
He's
a
never done it before.
controller. Was a controller that he had never done before, and he's done small trackballs, but he's never
big.
done a big HAP style trackball. So, in my opinion, this could be This is my guess. A Golden Tee plug and play HDMI couchcade type device. That's what I'm thinking this is. I could be wrong. I would have preferred to see something more arcade shaped.
Me too.
We'll have to wait till 2 weeks from now.
I've heard it is actually a Silver Strike bowling pedestal.
Hey, I have one of those.
Yes.
That would be cool.
So I don't really know what it is. I don't know what to say. There was a lot of us hoping, and I'll be very clear about this, hoping that this was something that was in competition with Arcade 1-Up, because let's be honest, Arcade 1-Up has certain limitations. They're never going to do the weird and wacky stuff because they have the limitations of the retailers and what the retailers are willing to take on. So maybe New Wave Toys was an outside hope that they do something direct to consumer and kind of not have those same limitations. So games that like me and you want, like Qbert, Robotron, the stuff that's not exactly as retailer friendly, maybe there's another company who can make something like that we could take. But this doesn't look like it. And if it is at a control panel, I mean, that is more in line with what New Wave Toys can do. I mean, they're a small shop. When you're getting into full-size arcades, you need warehouse space, extra stuff, and maybe that would be just maybe a little bit too ambitious a project for them to take on.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, Restalgia was telling us offline.
What an idiot. What an absolute idiot.
He feels that now this is Restalgia, guys, mind you. He feels that this is simply an accessory for the current line of 1/6 scale arcades. And of course, I was like, what are you talking about? Did they make a riser? Like, what kind of accessory do you need?
Yeah, he might be right, actually. He might be right.
What do you need?
Well, let me throw something out there for the speculation side. Okay, if it's a Golden Tee thing, like a little console,
that's
a
what
new product.
That's what I'm guessing, and
I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I am saying it is a new product line from New Wave Toys. It's something New Wave Toys have never done. Right? Yeah. What have they done? Almost everything miniature, right?
Right.
Or a couple different scale variations. This is like, what is it then? Is it a scale of a real Golden Tee, and then what is the price point?
Wait, what if it's a 1/6 scale couchcade? With a little trackball to play Golden Tee?
That's the weird part, is I'm assuming that if they want to add a new product to their product line, is this just a one-off? Or is this, what we're seeing, a silhouette of an entire product line? And what they're going to release is just one title, but then a year from now they'll have another title in that same form factor.
The only thing I can speak of to that question, Justin, is historically, what have we seen from them in the past? They announced Black Hole Pinball Machine, and if that thing wasn't successful, and it ended up the pre-orders were successful, if that thing was not successful, it would have ended there. But they said, because it was successful, they decided to do the next mini pin, which will be coming out after Black Hole. Pre-orders might go live later this year. So whatever this is, it could be the first in a new product line, and if it does well, they'll keep going. If it does poorly, they don't. So
right. So that's a good point, and that's where I was leading, right?
Yeah.
So does that fit with Golden Tee? Can they release many versions of, if this is successful, can they do another version in a year?
So I want to throw out there, I think what Restalgia's, I don't know what Restalgia was talking about, but one idea I had was, I said in my last review for the Replicades is, the thing about Replicade and what they've become now is they're a really cool mini console where they're basically the actual mini arcade itself is the between like that's where you usually have your mini console. So it hooks into a TV and then you plug a controller into it. Maybe this is simple as this is a all-in-one type controller for you to play with your Replicades.
That's assuming that all this is a controller. Now, Bobby Broadway has a great comment in your live chat.
Just 1 second. I got to read the super chat first. Stringer Films, $2. AtGames hemorrhoid pillows are for 4KP customers only. They're kind of like the anti-fatigue mat for Arcade 1-Up Pro customers. I got it. Thanks, Stringer Films. All right,
But
where's Bobby Broadway?
So Bobby Broadway said, maybe this is just one part of many that fit together, so it could be the first image and maybe on the next teaser image they add another piece to this, right?
Ooh.
So there's that idea as well, and that's probably the comment of the night to think about, because here's the only real problem with the thought that this is simply a control panel, like a Golden Tee control panel. Here's the only problem. That is not New Wave Toys' business model. That hasn't been their model ever.
No.
You know, they make arcade replicas. And if they just are releasing plug and play like HDMI consoles like that, it's a totally weird thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a recreation of an arcade unless it's a recreation of the original control panel. But it's still it fits the theory of the picture, but it doesn't also make sense because of who they are as a company, right?
Yeah.
So Bobby might be right. Bobby might be right.
In that theory, that means this picture is a piece of a puzzle.
Yes.
So what is this piece fitting in? What is the larger puzzle that this piece is fitting into?
It eventually will turn into a nutcracker.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Is this just the top panel of a full-size arcade?
I got it. You know what it's missing? The next leaked image will have a 1/6 scale replica arcade machine on top of this, confirming that this is indeed a riser.
It's just a riser.
So
I'm thinking it's a topper.
Guys, it is just a riser. GRS stands for Great Riser Solutions for your New Wave Toys home arcades. It is only a riser.
So, really quickly, super chat from Jason Little Alien, best moderator in the business. Boy, they really went back to the drawing board on Zoltar.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. Very funny.
Thank you, Jason.
Jaster Mariel, $2 super chat. Full-size controller that plugs into Replicate. That's what I said. Jaster, thank you for the super chat. Ristalgia said that's a bad idea. Not that he has... Not that he has any good ideas or anything to really add. He just acts really cool, like an edgelord to the side, pretending he knows what's best for everything.
See, worst Jago right there. That comment right there. That is the one next to Bobby's comment. And that just kind of reiterates what I just said. If it is some kind of control panel, which is all we can assume based upon this image, that goes against who they are as a company. Like, they don't make crap like this. And so it's like, what is it? What is it? But if it's a piece of a puzzle and there's more images to come, you never know.
All right, edgelord. Tell us. If it's that obvious, tell us what it is.
So I just want to point out that whenever stuff like this comes out, Ristalgia always pretends he knows what it is. And we know he's pretending that he knows what it is. And he knows that we know that he knows that he's pretending. But he still runs with it, Justin. Or should I call you JR? Should I call you JR?
JR. It's JR.
Yeah.
JR Superstar.
So when you quit YouTube, did everyone walk around saying who shot JR? Oh,
so I was actually named after who shot JR. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was born in 81, and my parents were like,
"It's just a riser. It's just a riser.
That's just riser."
Yep.
So I do want to go back to the idea that maybe it is just an arcade control panel. If they do a 1-for-1 arcade control panel that's a plug-and-play device, I actually have talked about this before. Arcade 1-Up, when they did the Couchcade concept and going back to the mini controllers, I said this is something maybe they should consider doing, coming out with control panels that you just plug and play, and it's actually arcade accurate. I think that's a good idea for Arcade 1-Up. Maybe it's a good idea for New Wave Toys. I don't know if I think it's a good idea, but I don't know if it's something I'm really super in the market for. So I will throw that out there. It could be like a Couchcade, but the one thing we know is it'll be a hell of a lot more arcade accurate than what the Couchcade was.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because, okay, so we're talking about Golden Tee. And I think the reason why we think Golden Tee is if you look at it, you see no controls. It's mostly flat, and it reminds you of a very flat control panel that only has basically a single trackball in it. But there's actually no evidence that it only has one item in it, trackball.
Yeah,
who's to say that it doesn't have 2 joysticks and 12 buttons and all of that? So what if it's just a GRS control deck that's sold under the brand of New Wave Toys, and it's a plug and play arcade system? that has all the licensed games
I wouldn't
that
be
New Wave
surprised.
Toys has all in one.
But
I wouldn't be surprised that whatever it is sold by New Wave Toys,
Mm-hmm.
components and hardware by GRS. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if the person actually manufacturing this item is American Gear, because that is the third company. So
Who's that?
American Gear, they're the ones coming out with that new Coleco arcade machine. Glenn has partnered with them. In fact, their multicades you could buy now on their website. They have Glenn's spinners in them. Like they are a partner of GRS Thunder 6 Studios. His parts go in their multicades that they sell. So I wouldn't be surprised if American Gear Company is part of this, and they
Sure.
are also manufacturing the thing. But now that I think about it, if tomorrow they leak out image number 2 and it's got a monitor on top of this thing, it's a Commodore 64, right?
So really quickly,
Interesting.
really quickly, someone said earlier, what makes you think this even has to do anything with Glenn's product? Glenn on his
Glenn
Twitter
confirmed.
page confirmed it himself. So this is the Glenn partnership.
Yep.
The other thing I want to say, happy early birthday to King Midas. Turns 45
nice.
tomorrow. Everybody say happy birthday to King Midas.
Yeah.
One other thing, we had another super chat here from Unacceptable Fringe, $2. Happy to see Console Kits back. Great show, boys. Thank you. But he's now JR.
Thanks, man. Just whatever.
Yeah, you got to refer
Let's-
to him as JR.
Thank you, Unacceptable Fringe. I really appreciate the shout out on that. Let's go back. This is really interesting conversation. Let me go back to you, P-Dubs, on this. What do you think about the idea that this is an arcade multi-cade stick button system designed by GRS and then American Gears delivering it and manufacturing it, but it has the licensed games from New Wave Toys.
Yep.
Let's say it has like what 12 games on it or something like that.
Yep.
Could that work? Would it hurt their sales on their replicades if they did something like that?
Not
Is it
really.
just
I
like
mean,
a
not if
be a
it's
different
games that they
market?
haven't made yet for their 1/6 scale and don't plan on making into a 1/6 scale.
So
And
there's
another
a
question. Hold on.
You
one
go
more
ahead,
question.
Justin.
Yeah.
Does the GRS, think of the GRS kit that came for the iArcade? Does that multi-purpose control panel fit the games that New Wave Toys has license for? You know what I mean? This game has a stick and this has a trackball and this has a spinner.
Most of them you could play on it. I'm pretty sure most.
Really quickly, a couple points I want to make on that. This won't be a multi-cab. I agree with Jason and Nostalgia on this.
No way.
This is not going to be a multi-cade product because one, you're talking about the licenses. We don't know what the license agreements were between New Wave Toys and the products they released. More than likely, there's literature in their license contract saying that it has to be on the 1/6 scale solitary release. So they just can't go willy-nilly and put their licenses other places. The other thing is that's so off-brand for New Wave Toys that it might alienate the fan base a little bit. And I do want to say this too. If you take a look at the New Wave Toys fan page, I saw that there. We'll get to it in a second. If you take a look at the New Wave Toys fan page, they've actually been receiving a lot of flack from their community. Again, too much negativity, I think, personally, but they have been receiving flack. People are unhappy with all the extra projects they're doing, like the Slurpee Cup, the Dirty Donny rugs. These releases, for some reason, are upsetting people because they feel like it's taking away from what they're fans of in the first place, which is the 1/6 scale. So even, let me see if I can bring this up.
They're easy money.
Yes, they are, but it's alienating people. Take a look at this comment from Dayton Allen.
That stuff helps finance the next projects.
Yeah, I know, but are you ever going to release any future arcade cabinets? Don't get me wrong. I love the additional stuff, but it's the cabinets that are the thing. And there's a ton of comments like that where people are like, what's going on with all this extra shit? Just tell us what your next 1/6 arcade is.
Yeah.
No, I think those are all really good fine points. The idea that the multi-cade is likely not the case, that makes sense. But I would say one thing. what if the company, as they're growing, decides to scale wide and go, look, we have different product development teams. We hired 4 more people because we have the finances to be able to do parallel development, and our still core team is still focused on the Replicade.
Yeah.
But also, we found ways to optimize our business by making more products by different people.
Right. Like, look at Numbskull. People feel Numbskull shouldn't be. Sometimes I hear people complaining, oh, Numbskull shouldn't be making ducks and crap like that. Just keep making quarter arcades. Their business is set up where they can do both at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And New Wave Toys might be getting to that level. You never know. Look at, can you pull Glenn's comment back up? So
I just want to just bring this up. Shout out to
Glenn here.
Nostalgia really quickly. People are whiners.
He started this whole mess. Nostalgia did. But Glenn just says it's a chest to store 1/6 scale units. Raise your hands on the panel if you think Glenn is full of hot air and he's just trying to throw us off the trail. So here's my theories, because I just want to put a pin in it because I do have to get going here, Mike. My theories are, number one, top theory, just based upon the picture, it's either a stand riser display thing for your Replicades. Number two, it's a control panel based upon what it is. And the only control panel that I can think of would be Golden Tee, because that was long rumored that they were working on Golden Tee. And then number three, I'm going to have to give a shout out to Worst Jago and Bobby Broadway that it could just be this is the first part of a leaked image, and the next one will have another piece on top of it and another piece until we get to see the whole thing. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at with this.
I'm going to say something I've never said before.
Yeah.
And that's, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Thank
So a couple points really
Thank
quickly.
you,
I want to
Justin.
wake up. This is not a display case or an accessory, because this says you read their post, and New Wave Toys isn't deceptive by any means. I mean, they don't want to be. So they say the newest in new home arcade action is coming soon from Replicade. So I mean, they're not going to call a display case home arcade action.
Elevator action.
So I just wanted to be clear about that.
Hold on, Mike. When they put out that teaser image of the pinball silhouette, and we all got super hyped for it,
Yeah.
just to find out it was just a decoration. I mean, come on. Like, I don't think they want to go through that again. You know what I mean?
So here's another thing. Where is it? Right here. I want to bring this up. For people expecting there to be an announcement tomorrow, it could be, but I'm looking at this schedule here.
Next week.
Glenn has a show next week, not talking about it, but Shiloh's scheduled to be on
Yep,
Kicking It Old School next week. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out before. Go support our buddy Glenn right before Super Game Room Dudes. And Shiloh's going to actually be on the show and doing a giveaway. I think this will be the time it's finally
Shiloh.
announced. So this leads to your theory that maybe this is going to be different parts. I don't think it's just going to be this little thing.
He's
in
literally
Glenn's hand.
holding that thing.
I know, I'm a little bit
holding-
concerned about that.
Yeah. It's all a red herring, in my opinion.
Wait, he's holding it so it'll fit in the size of your palm.
Oh, so this picture's to scale.
I don't know. I don't know.
Look, Glenn always makes very cluttered thumbnails. You can't trust Glenn's thumbnails.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust Glenn's thumbnails.
Glenn,
Okay,
Glenn
like the
puts as much
background
shit on
has
there as he
miniature
can.
arcades,
Yeah,
but like he's holding it in his hand though.
yeah, that's
Well,
true.
I wouldn't say anybody's complaining about it, JR. I'd say more so we're speculating. Honestly, my goal with this is I'm really concerned that there's going to be some negativity if this isn't a full-size arcade, because everybody for some reason has thought that was the rumor for so long. I just want to throw some cold water on it and say, hey guys, let's just be optimistic. Go into this with an open mind. It could be anything, and don't have any expectation that it's going to be like a full-size Zaxxon or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, it's gonna be a full size Zaxxon?
100%.
yeah. Well, I mean, keep in mind Shiloh's done interviews on many channels, including our own, and also they teased the teases over the last year. Shiloh himself saying he would never make a 3/4 scale because he's 6 foot, whatever.
He's a
That
big
it would
guy
have-
that makes small things.
That if he ever did an arcade machine, I mean, these are things Shiloh has said. If he ever did an arcade machine, like a larger one, it would be more closer to 1-to-1 scale, 90-to-1 scale. Kind of like if you're thinking Arcade 1-Up XL line, like that size or bigger.
Yeah.
So, we've all thought and we've all put it out there. So we've only made it worse. I mean, but keep in mind, we were going off what
we heard
saying.
some pretty,
Dude,
relevant stuff, right?
It is obvious.
But-
It's golden tea, except for
Yes, a little trackball, a little 1/6 scale trackball.
So
it's something Glenn's never done before.
So here, really quickly,
Not at that scale.
really quickly, $2 super chat from Stringer Films. Duh, it's a 1/6 scale squatty potty. I did see someone say that earlier. Dirty Donnie squatty potty.
Mike, I love you, but you don't have to read every super chat. It's okay to skip a few.
No, I absolutely refuse to not read super chats. Why would you say it's okay to skip super chats?
You don't have to, because it totally interrupts the conversation we're having, man. We're in the middle of the fun. Hold on, guys. It's okay to skip a couple. I'm just saying. We skip a couple on Super Game Room Dudes a few times. We skip them.
Well, that's because we miss them.
Look, all I can say is Glenn is a great dude. Shiloh and the team at New Wave Toys are great dudes. Whatever's coming out, I'm sure it'll be very, very interesting. So there you go.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think they did exactly what their goal was. And that was to put out a teaser, to get people speculating.
Here we are.
They did a pretty good job at probably whatever it'll be. Maybe we mentioned it tonight, but we don't know. We don't know. So that's good. That's fun.
I think the only thing that we can really say right now is expect the unexpected and tune in to Kicking It Old School next Friday to find out what the fuck this is.
Very vulgar way to end the show, but okay, Mike.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Good night,
They
San
do things
Francisco,
different in
and
England.
go fuck
Look
yourself.
Look at Jay
San
Cuts.
Diego.
Pete Up says, Pete Up skipped my super chat on Super Game Room Dudes, and I never super chatted again. That's totally fine. There's no contractual obligation to read super chats. None. And when your co-hosts are in the middle of speaking and you interrupt them to read a super chat, it's kind of hard. It's kind of.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
the flow.
That's a faux
wrecks
pas
the
on my
flow.
part. I was nervous.
Hold on,
about
guys.
getting
Shut
to it.
up. Super chats here. Hold on.
Jesus Christ, shut up. Justin's wearing the 3D glasses from Jaws.
I do want to mention Kevin Clausen in the previous stream. I want to apologize for you the way I reacted to a comment that you made. It's been bugging me. I don't know if there was other comments about it, but it's been bugging me the way I responded to that. He mentioned something about I stopped making content, so then he started watching Fox. Take with that, read into that I don't actually know what that means. Because honestly, I feel as though if a content creator makes less content and someone finds another content creator that's amazing, that's awesome. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I thought as though the comment was trying to imply something weird, and my response was something to the effect of, well, you probably found 19K Fox because I was, promoting him so much. And I don't mean to diminish 19K Fox as a creator by saying any of that. I was just fascinated by the possible, analytics behind that.
And
the
guys,
data
don't
behind
forget,
it,
don't forget to tune in to 19K Fox's OnlyFans after show, $5 a month, and hear all the dirt coming out of 19K Fox's mouth.
The best part about apologies is when I got to give a shout out to Justin, making sure he's looking the viewer dead in the eye. He's not hiding behind anything.
Nope. Nothing.
He's not.
He's
so
even
you
got,
can
he's even got the 3D glasses on, so it
So
looks
you
like
can-
they're actually there in the room with him while he's making the
really,
apology.
you can really feel the emotion and the honesty behind that
right.
apology.
Hey,
I don't know why I put the glasses on.
P-Dubs, shut up for a minute. Jasper Real says, just wanted to interrupt the conversation. $2 super chat. Stringer Film says, it's my show, and I read all the super chats verbatim. $2. Thank you very much. And earlier, our moderator, Jason Lalian, gave away 5 memberships. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, guys, we don't know what it's going to be, but it's certainly caught me off guard seeing the image today. got me thinking. I guess we'll see next Friday on Kicking It Old School with our buddy Glenn. Anyways, guys, anything else you want to talk about, or is this hangout officially over?
This was supposed to be a hangout, and you betrayed
Yeah, we never
us.
started the hangout. We just listened to you agenda the entire podcast.
Hey guys, you want to come hang? We asked him. He sent a link. He goes, "Hey guys, you want to go live
We're
with me?"
ending the show. Can I talk
And we
about
said, "What's it about?" He goes, "Oh, it's just a hangout."
Okay.
And it's literally a podcast show.
I don't have a YouTube channel, but P-Dubs, if you ever want to invite me to a real hangout, I'll come.
I will.
But
I love
as long
doing
as it's agenda free.
I love doing those. Yeah. We
Yeah.
should do that. I did a hangout
Okay.
with Brooklyn Menace last Sunday or Monday or Friday or something, and we had a blast.
It was
No?
it was Friday. It was Friday. It was one of your typical I can't do Super Game Room dudes tonight. I'm not doing it. It's my birthday. Hour later, P-Dubs is live.
I logged into Super Game Room Dudes right as the show ended. You should
You
know,
did.
Mike, we all laughed about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I even told the
If
story.
only. Did you?
Yeah, I
You
told
tell the story?
I told
Yeah.
the story when I went live with Brooklyn 20 minutes later. I said, guys, I hopped in and I was like, thanks for tuning in, blah, 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 blah. And then Nostalgia goes, dude, we're not live.
You joined like literally when we whoever pressed end. It was like end, and we all
Yep.
saw each other.
Yep.
Because if those in the audience that don't know, like the moment
Yeah.
like someone presses the end,
Yeah.
we all see each other and the live button's gone, and we usually say, "Hey, how's it going? That was a fun show."
Yep.
But exactly as that happened, he does join, and he does his intro.
And I did my whole intro. I thought you were live. You jerks. Whatever.
That was good times. I loved the part. You probably maybe you forgot this part, but once you realized we weren't live and it was a real hangout, you totally bailed on us.
Oh, I said, well, since we're not live, there's no reason to be here, and I hung up on him.
He
That's the
literally
mark
did.
of true friendship. Because you
Yeah,
know
there
you
you go.
can say shit like that to each other and not offend each other.
Well, what
you know?
P-Dubs actually said
Yeah, that's
is,
one
"Whoa,
way to look at it."
we're just talking here. I can't monetize this." Boop.
Hold on, Mike. Shut the fuck up. James hates everything. Gave us $5.
Cornercade subliminally asked me to interrupt this conversation with a super chat, so you will have him on. I told Cornercade that there's no one-up chat. I can't have him on if we're not talking about one-up. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but you know, when I watch videos of people in this home arcades niche who cover similar topics as me, and I see in the comments of every video from every content creator, there's always Cornercade in the comments going, "Hey man, we gotta do a show together, man." Like whoever it is. And I don't know which one it was on. Somebody from the community like responded to Cornercade and said, "Dude, why do you keep bugging everyone to do these shows with you? Like, you know, stop it."
Shotgun Sean.
Right. And Cornercade goes, "You miss 1,000% of the shots you don't take." And I'm like, that's a Midwest Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan quote, as well as Wayne Gretzky, I think, as well.
And Michael Scott.
and Michael Scott.
But man, I was cracking up. I was like, hey, at least the kid's shooting a shot, you know?
I gotta tell you, earlier tonight he wrote me and he said, "Hey Mike, I'm gonna do a show. Come on with me. Let's do it. Let's do a show together." And I said, "No, you can't stop me. I'm doing my own show."
Cornercade, you stream 4 days a week for 12 hours at a time.
Sometimes twice a night.
And I have no idea what those live streams are about. I have no idea. What are you doing over there?
A lot of it's about him working for Arcade One Up, locking everybody in a boardroom, and not letting them go until he gives them the discount on the pizza.
Cornercade seems to me to be the kind of guy who likes ham and pineapple on his pizza. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? He's probably with the Arcade One Up in the boardroom. Ham and pineapple pizza today, guys. Let's fucking go.
So it's weird though, like if you're Cornercade, this is what I feel like, right?
Yeah.
To the analogy, right? So you're in the boardroom,
Right.
and he's like, "I want pineapple pizza." Then every now and then, all of a sudden, it's his wife that says, "I want pineapple
Yeah.
pizza." and you're like, wait, are you your wife or are you your husband? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Right? Like.
So
I'm making highlight of the point that he doesn't have a Facebook account, but he uses his wife's Facebook account. Now, to be fair, I've met a few people that are like that. Like in the tournament circle, it's like, hey, dude, if you want to know when we're doing the tournament, you should join our Facebook group. And so many times I get a response, well, I don't have a Facebook group, but I'll use my wife's. And I'm like, and I literally looked at him and said, dude, just sign up for a Facebook group, but call it like, I'm a pinball hobbyist or whatever. If you're afraid of putting your name out in social media, just use it as a way to sign up for the schedule, because it's the best way to know.
He's not afraid of putting his name out there. He's trying to fight it because he found himself addicted to social media. It was like he always wanted to be on it. You wouldn't get that impression from him always wanting to be on something, but apparently he does.
So of course,
I get that. I understand.
So
that.
of
That
course,
makes sense.
his lovely wife Katie sends us friend requests, which is really Cornercade sending us friend requests.
But see, if he's addicted to it, but
So-
he signs in as
so-
his wife, he's still
so-
on it.
She's
So
enabling him.
But listen, the story gets funnier. So we're all friends, and this is the only way he can reach us, because he doesn't have Discord, he doesn't have Instagram, he doesn't have Twitter. There's like no way to get a hold of us, right? And none of us share our personal private phone numbers. It's all we all could talk via DMs this way.
He has my number.
So yeah, I get friend requests for her, and then I get a DM from her, and it's like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" or something like that, right? And I'm like, I'm being catfished.
Awkward.
Right? Like, do you know how awkward it is? You're talking to some other man's wife who's DMing. "Oh, what's up, buddy?" I'm like, "What's going on here?" Like, seriously.
He didn't even start with, by the way, it's Mr. Cornercade. I'm
by
just
the way.
using my wife's account.
Yeah, I literally thought it was her. I'm like, "Hey, you." So yeah, he's been catfishing the entire home arcade social media community. Way to go.
Guys, come
Hey,
on.
Cornercade, just to be clear, we're making fun of you on purpose.
We love
In a loving way.
in a loving way.
I didn't say that. You guys did.
I'm trying to let me see if I can find her now.
Mike, add him to the show.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to remember what his wife's name is, because she changed it recently.
So wait. This is what are you about to message his wife
All right.
a link to a random stream?
Yeah, where's
Will
Jago?
she join or will
Where's
he
Jago?
join?
You've been talking to Danny this entire time. Where's Jago? That is, I know. I've been
Corner
same thing
Cade
happened
sent
to
me
me.
a message on Facebook.
I
How
honestly
many
thought,
men in this community are like, this chick likes me?
yeah. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I get a message from Katie going, "Hey, can I come on your show tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mrs. Cornercade, you can come on." He's like, "No, this is Danny." I'm like, "No, thanks."
Sorry.
But I do that to
dying
him
right
all the
now.
time. I do that to him all the time. Mrs. Cornercade is more likely to get on the Super Game Room dudes than Mr. Cornercade. But we're gonna have Danny come on in just a minute, guys. We've been busting his balls.
Danny,
Let's get him on.
Danny.
Let's get him on. Let's get him on. We've been busting his balls. Let's get him on, guys.
All right,
Let's get him
so
on.
yeah, and Jason did put a $5 super chat in. So P-Dubs, if you could shut up. Jason says, "Sorry, I can't take this anymore. Would someone have the Cornercade on already? My phone won't stop ringing,
there we go.
and my dog is
All right.
missing." Thank you very much, Jason.
No, shotgun Sean, don't leave. Sean, you'll like this. Come on, get him on.
Yeah, I want to treat. Look, I'm Michael Scott, and Cornercade is Toby.
Turn your
All right.
camera on,
You
Corner.
gotta turn your
Cade. We
camera
can't see-
cade on, bud.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh,
Let's go! Let's go!
so Jesus Christ! You told me you were going out for Chinese food for dinner, but I had no idea what is going on here.
Jeez.
What happened to you, Danny?
Wow. Wow.
Can we talk about the next?
I don't know if I'm supposed to be offended or not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a
Excited
joke.
about spectate mode. Let's go!
Spectate mode. Let's go! All right,
Hey,
hold on.
I have
He's
a
really
question
coming.
because
Is he
B's
really
back.
coming?
We got to.
Is he coming?
Yeah, he said give him a second. He's gonna come.
Oh, he's really coming. Okay.
Yeah,
He's really
All right.
coming.
Did you guys? Did I fake you guys out?
Big time, yeah. Didn't know who it was.
That was good. So B, I have
hold
a
on.
very high amount of empathy towards you.
Oh, that John Wick pinball guy. I know, huh?
Yeah.
And I have a lot of I don't know, in the corner radical candor. I can't remember. How's the 4 matrix go off the top of my head? I can't think of it. So
you care about somebody or you don't give a shit.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Then on the horizontal,
So I'm here.
Or you challenge them directly.
If you guys don't know about that, let's talk about that for a second. So how do you get to ruinous empathy?
It's when you don't say anything, but you care about them.
Okay. And then how do you get to you kind of hate them, but you stay silent?
Sincerity. It's when you don't give a crap and you don't say anything.
Okay. And then you do care about them, but you do say something.
That's radical candor.
Right. So I'll give you an example. So let's say Danny comes on and I don't care about him, but I give him feedback. What would that be?
That would be you being an asshole.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if I change my perspective to realize that he's a human being and I do care about him and I do give him positive feedback, then it is
radical
Ladies and
candor.
gentlemen.
What's up, Danny? I'm sorry. I stole your thunder for your entrance.
Well,
No,
anyways,
it's all
Danny,
good, man. It's all good.
thank you so much for joining. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show. We'll see you next week.
That was the best. Oh my god, that's great.
Even oh man, that's so funny. I'm
okay. So Danny, let me
Guys,
ask you a question.
Real
Danny,
quick,
please get a Facebook and stop catfishing me as your wife.
How
it's not always me, guys.
how dare you?
How dare
how
what?
dare you?
Who do you think
How-
you are?
Who do you think you are?
He's not an Office fan. He doesn't get it.
No,
He doesn't get
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
That's one thing. You got to start watching The Office, Danny. If you're going to get
They
these
do Office
references.
jokes
Guys, I
all
can't.
the
I don't have time. I gotta build the arcades. I gotta play in the arcade. It's the arcade.
You gotta go
arcade.
live 6 times a week.
I gotta go
sometimes
live
twice a night.
Every other night.
like twice a day. I mean, no. Okay, so we're talking pinball, guys. This is my first chance. You're bringing an arcade one-up, just guru here to talk pinball. So we're gonna talk what the ramps, the chutes, the ladders. What do you want to talk about? Let's go. Pinball time. Let's do this. Make me a pinball guy. Because I'm hearing,
It's
I'm hearing
not
a lot
how
of
it
things.
works.
I'm hearing. Listen. I'm here. All kidding aside, though, people are saying that the arcade one-up pinball plays better than the AtGames. Can anybody confirm this? The Mars attacks. The Mars attacks.
Yeah, let's all take a trip down to Fantasyland.
All right, guys. What did I miss? I've been watching the show from in bed all night. I appreciate the support in the chat, guys. The chat, you guys super chat and lighten up. You got me here, guys. So shout outs to the home arcade community for getting me here. Unbelievable. Let's go. That's right, Stringer Films. Michael B, read that.
Yes. You could have told
Shut
me it
up,
was
P
impossible.
Dubs.
I was
Seriously,
the
B,
corner
it's the
kid.
corner gate. Let's go.
I forgot the corner kid. That's how you knew it was an imposter all along. You never knew. You didn't
So
know.
funny. B, how is that? What is that? John Wick or what was that? That
Yeah.
pinball. Was that
I
exciting,
had an
dude?
amazing opportunity to play a brand new pinball game, and the pinball community fucking hates me for it.
No,
so-
dude, screw. Hey, B. Honestly, Mike B. Listen, I was driving home from work. I had Mike B. playing in the car, right? And then B got that hate, dude. Like, f those guys, bro. Like, dude.
What are you
this is
talking about? They're all right. I freaking hate B now. The moment he came out with
B's
John
the
Wick,
worst.
I was like, who is this guy? Who is
that's-
this guy?
Dude, that's exactly what you want. You don't want give other people a chance to play these things. Like, I'm on all board. Like,
No,
we can do
B
yeah.
has no right to talk about John Wick
credibility.
at all.
no credibility.
No, I think
You
that was really
own-
cool though, dude. Like,
You
going
own
down
no
there,
pinball
like-
machines. You haven't for years. You're dude, you B. I'm serious. I'm looking at you straight in the eye without 3D glasses. Listen to me. You are a pandemic pinball player. That's it. You're fake. You got into the hobby during the pandemic. Shame on you.
Yes. I do not have that years of historical knowledge when pinballs were magically like $500 or $1,000.
So I think a lot of people in the pinball community did get it. I read one comment out to Kaneda's pinball podcast. His name's Kaneda, right? Is that his name? I
Who?
don't watch him. Kaneda.
Who?
Or
Canada.
whatever his name. Canada
Who?
Phil?
I don't understand.
What's his name?
this Canada
Canada?
person. What are you talking about?
Anyways,
Canada? What are you talking about?
Kaneda, he made the
You're talking
comment
about the guy that only owns one pinball machine?
Yes.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
That guy.
So, anyways,
Okay, yeah.
what I do want to say is, you know, the reason why Stern is doing this and reaching out to people like you, Retro Ralph, other people like that is you guys are, well, Nostalgia. I have no idea why they reached out to Nostalgia. He's
It's a
just
mystery.
fishing for opportunities. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks a pro and a premium are the same thing, but he did a hell of a video, all kidding aside. But the reason they're reaching out to these people is because they're trying to reach people outside the, you know, pinball hardcore. So these guys with their podcasts, they're still the premium people in that hardcore space, but that's not what Stern's looking for. It's like Arcade 1-Up when they do an X-Men 97 cab. That's not necessarily for us. They're trying to reach people outside that space. So, you know, we've all been
Yeah, I
there.
can tell you exactly what Joe D said when we met him.
What's that?
You don't go to church to teach people about God.
Yeah, fair comment.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds weird, right, when you think about it, but the whole idea is, right, you go outside. And so Kaneda, I listened to his podcast. He talked about and complained about, you know, you don't know your own community. Maybe, but I think also the company is going in a different direction. They're trying to, it's the same thing as Arcade 1-Up. It's the same story. They get to the certain point where these companies go, oh, we've saturated this market. Let's see if we can find new markets to tap into. And the moment that happens, think about it. You guys got upset when we got other YouTubers that are bigger than all of us start covering Arcade 1-Up. All of you guys were upset. It's no different.
Yeah.
Stringer
I think
Films, $2. No, B, shut up. Stringer Films, $2. Knock, knock.
Who is this guy?
$2 interrupting Stringer Films super chat.
Well, here's the worst thing that he did. Like, he basically killed your pinball career, Beacon. So he's so mad. He's so mad that Beacon got this opportunity that he had to go do a Patreon stream. Like, why all these pinball channels hide their content behind a Patreon? Guys, you're watching this shit for free. You don't have to pay us money to watch this shit, unless you're 19K Fox. You know, he does this show and he talked about how Kongs R Us is a nobody.
He's a wackadoo.
And he called him a wackadoo. And I was like, oh, B, it's over, bro. You're a wackadoo. He called you a wackadoo.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That up.
Yeah. This
Hey,
walking
Cornercade, this one's
popcorn.
for you. Shut up, Cornercade. But nothing is more interrupting than this $5 super chat from Kevin Clausen. Thank you very much, Jason Little Alien.
You know, I've been thinking about it. All kidding aside, you know, I know B. I've been to his house. Raise your hand if you've slept in the same bedroom as.
Oh, I'm not
As
putting
B.
him on screen. Like, if you're going to show where he says it, because he'll come after me for money. I mean, he can't even let people watch his own show for free. He's not going to let me air.
Raise
his
your hand if
comment.
you've had B Kong rub his face against your belly. So I think I know B pretty well. He's just a good dude, and he didn't sign up for any of this hate. And what he did do was, you know, I was there. We went to Comic-Con and we went to CES, and it was just simply a conversation with some people saying, yeah, so we got this marketing team that like does an influencer program. Do you guys want to join? And B was very interested. There was no weird deal with it. It was just an influencer program. And I remember B, I don't care. I'm going to be radical candor about it. You were concerned. You're like, should I do this or not? And you were debating back and forth. And of course there was this, will there be an image of me being a shill? And at a certain point you thought it was a really great opportunity. And who wouldn't accept this? You got 2 machines to play with for 2 months each. And the only thing they asked in return is at the end of the 2 months, you give, in your view, an unbiased review on it with no like I'm going to ask you straightforward. Did anyone review your content before you uploaded it?
Nope.
Shame on you if they did. Right. So you were allowed to do that. You always put this is a sponsored, anytime you're talking about Stern, the moment you join that program. And you have several pinball machines, and this gives you an opportunity to play with another one on rotation. And in exchange, all you do is put it out there. Because you are part of that program, and you live in LA, and there's an office in LA, is that my understanding?
Their marketing teams. Yep.
Right. So you were able to visit there. Your content was great. The whole, like, from the car scene starting out, we're in the journey together, and then you unveil it. I think I would have a hard time creating that level of content. And I think you did a great job. And you published that content out to a community that hated it. You know, shame on them. That's messed up. Because we've dealt with this gatekeeping concept for a long time. And it's pretty messed up for someone like Kaneda or anyone else to say negative things that it's, you know, like, you can't have a voice. Only I can have a voice. You can't have that voice.
Well,
and Stern can't give you that voice because I'm smarter than you.
Well,
That's messed up. That's
I'm not
really
too worried
messed
about
up.
that. Like, lucky enough, we have this beacon of truth in the home arcade community that really protects people from gatekeeping. So I'm sure he's going to stand up and, you know, go after these bastards for what they did to B. So I'm looking forward to that video.
Look, all I can say is, if I got called a wackadoo, man, I'd run for the hills. Like, it's over. Like, this guy came hard at B. Like, there's no recovering from this name calling of wackadoo.
Yeah, at one point, though, there is that.
I would immediately email Stern and be like, "Look, guys, I was really happy about this partnership, but your community of jealous popcorn fart, unicorn fart looking YouTubers
Bozos.
that dress like 8-year-old boys." Mike, I really wish you'd let me share the picture. Are calling me a wackadoo.
Yeah, you can share the picture. Just not as video.
Calling me a wackadoo.
So
You know what I mean?
It's right. I like Carrie Hardy and I like Kaneda.
Right.
But Carrie has refused to do any partnership with Stern. And do you think, I don't know, Kaneda made a really good point. Like, it would have been awesome to see Jason Knapp do a review of John Wick.
No, absolutely true.
And there was like this
No one's
invitation
saying no.
concept where it's like, we'll fly you, or that person would fly to New York. Did that happen? I don't know if anyone got flew anywhere.
All right, guys, do me a favor. Give me a 1 in the live chat if B looks more like a wackadoo, or if this clown. Give me a 2.
Bozo.
Give me a
Come
2
on.
if this grown-ass man dressed like an 8-year-old child is the wackadoo in this relationship. I need to know who is the freaking wackadoo. And keep in mind, this is his daily attire on his shitty Facebook podcast show.
Most people here,
to be fair,
I don't watch
he's a
him,
good
but
creator,
Justin
okay?
and
I
B
just-
really like him. So
No, I don't.
dislike
I don't
how
follow
he
his
is-
stuff at all. So, but yeah, go ahead.
I dislike how he attacked B, but I think he's still a great content creator.
Oh, he's amazing.
Two things
amazing.
can be true at the
I
same
love
time.
We're going to leave that in the corner there, Mike.
I,
No, I'm just kidding.
So
what I
really
wanted to
quickly,
say is I
shut
like-
up, B. So Kevin Clausen says, "What does Scott the Waz think about John Wick?" $2 super chat. Go ahead, B.
Look, I just laugh at the wackadoo. I mean, that was just a hilarious thing
Yeah,
to
no,
say.
I appreciate
I
you
thought it
guys.
was-
I mean, the
I
home arcade
thought it was
community is
Look,
is
but hey, Kaneda, if you're out there, this gets to you. You're busting B's balls. We're just busting your balls back, man. Go enjoy your pinball machines. We love you. It's so funny.
You mean pinball machine?
pinball.
Yeah,
The
pinball
wall.
machine.
The wall.
I'm sorry. I just think it's funny, right? I think it's
Yeah.
funny.
Justin, this one's for you, buddy. I'm not going to tell anybody to shut up this time. This is serious. $10 super chat Pixel Gallery. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Justin, it's been so nice to see you back on a couple live streams lately. Your impact on this community is greater than you think. Also, as a fellow musician, your music live streams are fun.
Thank you. And it's JR. No, I'm kidding. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. That's very kind.
B, you can go ahead now, sir.
I had to do the
Oh, wait,
Michael
shut
B.
up. There's another super chat.
I appreciate everybody's like kind of, I guess, backup. It's always nice to hear friends kind of stick up and see that. And I always, as a content creator, you grow thick skin when people start saying
Oh,
things.
yeah.
So you always go through that battle of, do I say something? Do I not? Do I ignore them? Do I say something? Do I say something witty about this? Do I start a conversation and discussion? I get the point about maybe it wasn't just that a new person saw it, it's that they didn't reach out to somebody that they trusted or knew. And but then it's overshadowed by the negativity of allowing somebody new to do it. And then I thought about like what I did in terms of the content, which to Justin's point, JR's point, hey, I wanted to bring people with me for this. And like I told the marketing team, like, I want to do a vlog style video for this. And they're like, oh, that's a cool concept. Like, I don't think anybody's done that. So I wanted to try something new that the community hadn't seen, as like they're seeing it for the first time with me. That was the whole concept. But then I look back and like what they're used to is high quality overhead shots of a pinball play field and talking about it through that lens. So I was like, if I did it again, if I had an opportunity again, that's feedback I would say is like maybe there's a marriage between what they would expect. Because I was like, was the content itself that bad? I thought the interview was pretty good. And there's people that were saying like, you know, because Mike doesn't watch my content, like there's low knowledge content out there about what he was saying. I was like, I played that game fucking better than any of you guys could play for a first time. And so I don't know. I was proud of how I stood my ground with Zach and was able to talk pinball shop with them. And so I guess my main complaint is that, you know, people aren't giving.
Didn't you get second place in your league recently?
I did. Yeah, I almost got first by 1 point. So I mean, I feel like I don't know what it takes in that community that feels very gatekeeping and elitist to have the credibility to have an opinion that people are going to say.
It's just
so
the name.
Like
it's just the name calling. The name calling is out of hand.
So
it's whack.
To be fair, and I'm going to be very honest about this and make myself look like an idiot. We did talk about this one point with Arcade One Up sending out review units to like con films and stuff like that. We were like, who is this guy and stuff like that. So in essence, we've been there, right? Like maybe we were questioning the quality of his review and whether or not he actually identified as getting a review product. But like we've been there at the same time. So it is weird when you see somebody else from outside get it. But B did a really good job. B's not an outsider; he knows what he's talking about. So
that's my point. Like I like at least yes, I agree that somebody in that community like Jason Knapp or anybody else should have also had that opportunity. Like they were in different markets, and you know they asked me who to connect to. I was like, I'm not really in that community. I don't know where people live to like invite them out to. But I would have loved to have seen more content come out with it.
Sure.
But yeah, I guess our problem with any of those people that did reviews of Arcade One Up products is that we felt that they didn't know the product or things well enough to give a...
I don't think any of us said anything negative about Carrie doing a mod review on Blitz. We were...
How dare he? That's Nostalgia's territory. Nostalgia, get on this, man. Really quickly, Cornercade, you got to jump in. Don't look for a pass. You just got to jump in, brother.
Like, to piggyback on that, be in the comments. I guess more guns is what we're looking for because everybody wanted more guns on that thing. So
I wanted less guns.
That was one tidbit, but I think if you sway to both angles, if you know, it's okay to give it to the superstars of the community, but let new people. That's how you grow the hobby. Can you guys imagine, like just for B, for example, like B's video, all the views that I get, I got introduced into this thing and I don't even know what the hell that thing is. So like it spreads the word. Like, can imagine me going down there and doing that. Like, I don't stop talking when I get excited about a product. Like, I am literally free advertising. So it will go. It's exciting though. It would be exciting, like because it's all genuine excitement, good or bad. I could be like, hey, this thing kind of stinks. Like, and I'm just a new guy coming into this. So if you're new, maybe check it out. I don't know, but it could go both ways. But I think if they do both, tailor towards both, like One Up should be doing re-releases and new releases, tailored to both.
Danny, how long can you hold your breath underwater? Because man, you got
Danny.
Dude, I'm a professional, bro. Like, I made it. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Danny,
look, I'll tell you exactly.
Just really
what's
quickly,
going on.
console kids, hold on. Danny, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Everybody that's watching this podcast currently is now less intelligent for listening to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
I don't know. In this community, I'm confused. I think either you love me or you hate me or you just like to make fun of me. I'm just whatever. I'll just roll with it. It's good stuff.
That's a meme, by the way, Danny. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get that.
Well, I'm still waiting. I'm sorry, B. I'm just still waiting for Danny to yell, "Let's go!" and somebody in the audience to go, "Where?"
Right.
Daniel
The
would be
joke
so
I
confused.
Yeah.
He'd be so confused. He'd be like, I
So-
don't even know where we're going.
You guys ever see Wayne's World 2? Every time Danny wants to say "let's go," I'm like, "Where? I'm short on gas, and you need a coat."
And you need a jacket. And you need a jacket. Man,
So the
Danny,
thing,
you're wackadoo,
thing that-
bro.
No, bozo is the term. You should use bozo.
Danny's a
Just
bit of a
ignore the
wackadoo,
haters.
guys.
He
No,
is a
ignore-
wackadoo.
Don't
The
start
name
that.
calling.
Don't start that.
The
We
name
got
calling.
over corny. That used to be the nickname. We
I
got
think-
over that. Nobody calls
I
me
think
that anymore.
I think just to kind of put a pin in that prior topic is that pinball community has been a very tight-knit community
Yeah.
for years. There's a lot of great guys. Kerry Hardy, Kaneda, Don's Pinball Podcast. Geez, there's so many more that I can't even think off the top of my head. But they busted their ass building a community, kind of like how we've done the same over here. And it's their kind of like their first experience in the last 4 months or so, where Stern is reaching outside and beyond those guys to pull in more revenue, pull in more audience, get more people's eyes on their machines, possibly buy their products. So they're reacting to it. And the best advice we could give them is, guys, we've been there before. We've had the same reactions. We ended up looking silly. Don't look silly. Everything's going to be okay, because we embarrassed ourselves. You're making the same mistake we did. You know what I mean? By panicking that other people are making videos about what you're making videos on. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So that's what we're trying to convey. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say something that I've never said before. I
Yeah.
agree with you, Patrick. Here's why I agree with you.
You've agreed with me 9 times on this podcast tonight.
I
by the
know.
way. I've been
But
keeping
think
track.
about it. We've said this, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
The conversation has been, let's say the community is freaking out, not us, but the community is freaking out
Yeah.
about some creator with, like, I don't know, with 100,000 subscribers talking about Arcade 1-Up. And there has been among this group, like I said before, some like freak out. Who is that guy, right? But I don't
Who is
think
this
at the end of the day
unqualified
there was,
critics?
I don't think there was anyone that was necessarily like actually upset, like Scott the Waz. I remember when Scott the Waz, because the community was like, "Oh, Scott the Waz said this and said that," and I remember having conversations with you guys. We were literally just hanging out, and someone had mentioned, I mean, this makes, he wasn't actually. That's a bad example because
He was.
I'm
saying
thinking of a
negative
scenario
things.
where like Biggie or something like that was kind of like a influencer sponsorship with AtGames or something like that. And one of us among us said, like, well, it makes sense because Arcade 1-Up, from a marketing point of view, or AtGames from a marketing point of view, is just like, look, Biggie's got like a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers, so it's easy for someone like AtGames to just like send them a product and see if it's sticky to that.
Boogie
to that
298. Is that who you're talking about?
Boogie?
Boogie. I said Boogie, right?
Boogie.
Because he's a big guy. I said, okay, Boogie, right? Okay.
Boogie.
Here's my point. But among us, we're like, it makes sense that they would like do that. Okay, now let's apply that same logic, except for right now I'm like Kaneda, except for I'm looking at it from a logical point of view instead of like this who is B. I think the marketing company was just like, we want to increase our reach on YouTube, the platform. And B, to be honest, they probably don't care about you, B. You're just on YouTube. You're just on the platform, and you have more than 10,000 subscribers. and I don't think this program really costs the company anything, Stern.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, distributors, we want you to give a machine to B, okay?
Yeah.
And then he's going to give it back to you. And then you're going to sell it as a showroom account. And Captain's like, sounds good. Maybe it'll increase some sales. Like, whatever you say, Stern. And then B, you're not getting paid for any of this. You're just getting a machine for 2 months and you make a video. And there's a third-party marketing company, which is not even Stern, that's managing this entire project. And from Stern's point of view, they probably don't even know who B is. I mean, you met Zach or whatever. You know,
They
we
know
went
now.
to
Everybody
CES.
knows who I am now.
Right. But it's not like they're like putting a lot of time and effort into this idea of like, man, we could really increase sales if if we get Kong to do it. They're like, we just want to increase reach on the YouTube platform.
It's funny because I don't have the relationship with the third party marketing company yet to ask them like, how did you pick me out of all the folks that were making content? I'm like, my subscriber count is like okay for our home arcade space, but in terms of the grand thing, I remember Easy Allies. You mentioned this stuff. He has like 250,000 subs and did a video that didn't get as many views, right? But
Who's
I think
Easy Allies?
Hobby, huh?
Who's Easy Allies? What kind of channel is it?
No.
He's easy, but he made another John Wick video as well too in the same office. He had an appointment.
But what does he do? I've never heard of him before.
I have no idea what other content.
Don't you remember? I can tell you exactly why the marketing company picked you.
I remember because you were like,
it's Mike's. It's because of Mike, and it's because Mike made a post that was on freaking Nap Arcade, right? It's because you interviewed
Brian Eddy.
Freaking Brian Eddy.
Yeah.
And they reached out to you and said, hey, we saw your content about Brian Eddy, and then we saw your review at, was it CES?
Yeah, the best worst field reporter has finally led me to this golden opportunity.
So what actually,
and they're like, would you be interested in doing this influencer program? And
what actually happened was when B was at Comic-Con, he went up to all the Stern people and said, listen, man, Kaneda, Nap, all these guys are shit. You need B Kong up in your house.
Well, I also feel bad that they kind of singled B out because there were several YouTubers. Yeah. One guy, I don't even remember the kid's name. He had like 290,000 subscribers, and he did a video.
It's the Easy Allies guy.
Yeah, and I've never heard.
Well, they
didn't say anything about him, but man,
because B got the most views and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, this all boils down to jealousy. That they feel that B, with his access to what he did, just leached their views they should have gotten.
Well,
I'll tell you why B
got
that
there.
view.
We've all been there.
It's very simple.
It's okay.
He has a really good thumbnail. It's a really good title, and a catchy intro. And you know that because B's smart and he put some effort into it and was like, I got to play John Wick. Perfect title for release day. The thumbnail is very clear of what you're about to do, and it pulls you in at the beginning. That is the formula for getting good views. And you're excited to share this with the world, and people were excited to watch it. Simple as that.
Big. You know what was funny? Some of these guys put on Facebook, they're like, I saw and I was like, who was this guy? And B, you had a lot of people in the comments. They're going, oh, that's B Kong. He's awesome. In the comments, a lot of support went your way.
Some people even called him handsome.
But there's still also like the people that would say like, oh, now we know that they're going to arcade win-up channels because they control.
Oh yeah, they were fixated on that. Yeah,
very very much fixated on it. And anybody who covered it, including Vic DP, who doesn't cover arcade win-up, was like lumped into that. So really, I was really the only person that falls into that category. But now there's a sentiment to your point. All these arcade win-up YouTubers now are getting stuff, which is not the case. But forget about the where. It's that whole gatekeeping attitude. It's like, play what you play. I felt like it was a good opportunity to share an experience.
Hold on, guys. I'm worried about Danny. Danny,
no, let Danny talk.
Listen. No, we got a super chat here. Hold on. We got to read
it. Cornercade, it's all yours.
Okay, we got a $2 super chat from Stringer Films. Stringer Films, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Justin trumps a Kendaya. And they don't care about
Kaneda.
you, B. Who's Kaneda? That's the guy. Okay, sorry. First time I saw that on screen there. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. B, do you have any thoughts on that?
Thank you, Stringer Films. Stringer Films demonetized my video the other night because he sent me this John Wick promo video that had Johnny Cash in it, and I played it, and his ass was like, I was like, damn you, Stringer! But no, I appreciate it. I muted that, because money.
So if you're worried about Stern, like getting into the arcade one-up branch, if Stern contacts me, worlds are gonna collide, dude. That's just Jesus. It's gonna explode. It's gonna explode.
John Wick, let's go.
Yeah, John Wick,
serious.
Let's go. No, honestly, hey, in all talks, and Michael B, I never actually got to tell you this, but when I went to the Garcade, we have a really cool arcade in our neck of the woods. I knew I was gonna get beat up. Going, it's great. So you know how you were talking about like Stranger Things, you're talking about these pinballs, Godzilla, Attack from Mars. I'm like, and let me just go and play these things, because I'm like 19K Fox. The nostalgia for me is in the arcades. The pinballs are cool. So my wife and I went over there, played Stranger Things, and wow, that was fucking dope. Like when that monster comes out, you're trying to shoot the ball in the monster's mouth. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, I get what you're saying now. You really got to be there and do it to really understand. And honestly, Jr., your collection of arcade of pinballs, phenomenal. Like when you came on, I think it was like last week's show, dude, you got Jurassic Park, Mr. Dude. I'm looking at these things and I'm like, that is fucking dope, dude. Like to have that in your home, I could only like imagine just trying to go to an arcade to find these, and you have them readily accessible, the real thing. This isn't like V-Pen, which would still be cool. This is you have a holy grail, Mount Rushmore. Like you should be, I don't know the words. It blew my mind. It blew my mind.
Do you need that stool that New Wave Toys? Here, let me put it up.
Yeah,
so
the My Pillow.
We found out what the New Wave Toys thing was for. This is the stool that Danny's gonna kneel on to straight up suck Justin's cock.
Close
Dude,
your
let's
fucking
go,
chat,
baby.
Mike.
Wait,
Close
who's
your
Justin?
chat.
Hold on, who's Justin?
Oh, sorry.
Mike, close your fucking
Yeah.
chat, Mike. I
Mike,
swear to
you're
God.
gonna dox yourself. Jeez Louise.
don't
You're a
care.
professional here.
I swear to God, Mike, you're the worst.
Who cares? Who cares? Thank you, Cornicade. I will say one thing. Like, if you want to jump into pinball, I'm telling you, tournaments are everywhere. Tomorrow we have what's called the in Des Moines area, we have a two-day pinball tournament. So it's the major minis. 4 times a year we do this thing where it's 2 days in a row. That happens tomorrow, and the next day you will play. At ours, it's typically about 8 rounds of games with 4 different people. It's about 3 to 4 hours of pinball straight with very quickly become people, and B can testament to the, give a testament to this. Like very quickly you do a couple of those pinball, it's the same group of people, you become like friends with them pretty quickly, get to know them, and more I get to know the people that are in like our local tournament. They're just like us. They're super nerdy.
Oh yeah.
This one guy that I've been hanging out with a lot, Trevor, he's about 10 years younger than me, but he's like, hey, so I just bought the RetroTink 4K. And I'm like, wait, what? You bought the RetroTink 4K? He's like, yeah, you know about that? And we start going back and forth on all like the retro console nerdy stuff. And he's like, yeah, I bought this shell to replace the Super Nintendo, so it's like clear through. And I'm like, oh my God, I have one of those too. And it's a really exciting community. It's like, if you want to find people that are just like you, that are like local, I think they're hanging out at pinball.
It's the only
tournaments.
current modern social arcade thing that happens. There's not like groups of people doing arcade leagues to play stuff. So it's the most.
Hey guys, let's go play the claw machine at Dave & Buster's. Who's gonna win this week's big
Oh
tournament?
man, I'm ranked on Flappy Bird.
Yeah, and I'm not great at the tournament. I mean, I do okay. Like on an individual game, I'll get first place, but you gotta get first or second like 3 or 4 times out of the 8 rounds to actually rank high. So one time I've got 4th place, which is the final 4, which is super exciting. But here's the thing: like me, as new to tournaments, if I'm playing that time I played with the final 4, the other 3 people have been playing for 10 years, and
You made it.
I don't feel intimidated in the sense of like there's so much pressure. I don't think I'm gonna win these tournaments, but they're really cool and fun to play with, and
I'm so
and
sorry,
they're willing
Justin.
to teach you how to play the game.
Do you
I'm
smell
sorry,
what
I
the
can't
Rock
see
is
the
cooking?
chat.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Justin.
Sorry, hold
you're
on,
in the middle.
JR, hold
You're in the
on.
middle of making a fantastic point, and Mike's got to put that on the screen.
God,
Wreck
why
it.
did he do that, kid?
God,
Justin, I'm
I was-
sorry. JR,
I
I'm
completely
That's
once
all right,
it popped.
that's all right.
Once it popped. But Justin, that was a very profound and fantastic point you were making.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, it's
you.
good. So I grew this collection because I don't know the right term for it. I don't want to say obsessed necessarily, but it's like I find myself wanting to play constantly because unlike any other, I'll just compare it like an arcade machine, nothing is pulling me to, you have to play this daily. You have to play this daily. So I'm at I broke my streak and I got really upset about that. But I'm over 100
Yeah.
days of like nonstop pinball on Insider Connect, and I clock in every single day around
Arcade
5
went up with
o'clock
tracking
and
that
play.
when you played your games. Would you feel that same type of thing? You need a login to play your NFL Blitz. Danny?
So really quickly, guys, Jay
They
Guts
don't
says,
need to
"Why
do
was
that."
Mike B chatting with Danny's wife on Facebook?" Danny, you know why? Because I was trying to message you.
Maybe
Thank you for the
maybe
super
B,
chat,
but the
Jay.
thing is the replayability of these pinball machines are enormously high.
Oh, they are. Very true.
These games are very deep, very difficult, but they
Yeah.
keep on wanting you to put another quarter in. And some arcade games are like that, and some are not.
The only arcade
are
games that are
not.
like that, honestly, for me, is the fighting game community. Every match that you play is different, just like every pinball match you play is different. And so the competitive fighting or casuals, like I still go back to my fighting game cabinets because that makes me want to play. So that's the analogy I use about like why pinball is so good. If you're an arcade fan and you like fighting games, it's just like that. Every single match, you'll never play two fighting game matches. They're exactly the same. So it's kind of like that.
Sun's getting real low. I gotta go to bed soon because I gotta be up with my kid in the morning. My wife has court.
You mean sun's coming up?
Yeah. Sun's getting real low. That's what I always say to P-Dubs when I'm ready to shut it down. But I did want to bring this up, and I think you're talking about this a little bit, but I want to give Cornercade a chance to speak because I think he's not jumping in enough. You got to be forceful, man. You got to jump into the conversation.
Well, hey, here, Mike B, I wanted to be polite because my first time coming out of you guys, because I wanted to get an invitation back. If I just be a total bozo head, you're never gonna invite me again, and then I'm out. So I wanted to ease myself in there. A lot of people are like, dude, Cornercade's on like Adderall or whatever. Dude, does anybody watch the show? Like, come on, guys. I'm the hype man, bro. Like, I'm just a different flavor. Everybody's got their own tune.
Did you do a bump before you joined?
a line of coke before?
Would you say you're a different flavor?
Danny,
why did they have to add coconut?
Mike's about to pull a plug on us, but before Mike pulls the plug on us, Danny, I just want you to really think about this tonight when you're curled up and talking sweet nothings to Mrs. Cornercade. Let her know that if you sell all your arcade one-ups and take that money, you'll be able to afford half of a Stern pinball machine. And then it's just working to get the rest, baby. And then, you'll be able to get that one pinball machine, baby.
The problem is, though, I got more than one kid, so they're gonna fight over it. And they're not gonna. One's not gonna play left bumper, and one's not gonna play right bumper. It ain't gonna work. So
it's a multiplayer game. You can play up to 4 pairs on one pinball machine. Did you know?
That's right.
Hey, if you can explain this to a 2 and a 3-year-old, by God, I'll get you on. I'll get them on, and we can go for it, man. Like. But it's paying for the atmosphere at the end of the day, and
I'm just
Justin has
so excited.
JR has that atmosphere. He's got a whole bunch of lined up. It's insane.
I just can't wait for Kaneda's podcast like a week from now to be like, he's gonna be like, and this other thing that's going on in the Stern community, there's this guy called Cornercade that's constantly asking me if I can come on. He can come on his show. I mean, I'm a solo audio podcast, and this Cornercade guy is like, "Can I come on your show?"
Let's just adjust. Let's just speak upon this because I know Shotgun Sean like goes crazy over this. So there's two sides to this. Okay, there's what P-Dub's saying and what I would say. It's a friendly, hey, can I come on? Like it's just like a friendly, like, hey, you're not gonna know if you don't ask, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take in life, literally, and that's what I do every day at my job. Like I'm asking people, hey, do you want to sign up for the membership? Do you want to sign up for the credit card? Like these are designed to help you guys at the end of the day. So part of that is just me. The other side of the spectrum is I could.
Did you come on to ask us to sign up for credit cards?
Yeah, did you want to take 10% back? No, so like part of that though, and the other side would be like, yeah, that's annoying. Like I could totally understand that.
Yeah, but how does this apply to my extended car warranty?
Right. Can I give you a perspective, Cornercade?
What's up?
I'll give you a perspective on the can I come on your show. That's all nice and fine, and I totally understand your point of view. At one point, being in the home arcade community for about 5 years, I probably interacted with at least 100 creators. No one ever asked to be on my show as much as you. So from one point of view, yeah, you're ridiculously obsessed about trying to collaborate with other creators. And kudos to you for doing that. but it also comes across as really weird because it's foreign and not normal in the sense of like this is not common behavior that you see from a community of people. So you're the only one that does it. So you stand out like a sore thumb as this person that does something that most people in the community don't do. Now, I'll say, maybe that's a gift that you have, and that's an amazing thing. And you shouldn't, try to normalize yourself with other people. But from the other perspective, I go, who is this guy?
Yep.
Who is this B-Kong guy? Oh.
Who does he think he is?
100%. But look at the like
I'm
Michael B.
sorry.
The show that we had last week. Like Michael B. I'm shocked, literally, that you have never done a show with OTG. Like shocked. And like, look at how cool of a show that was. Like, I love the cross collaboration.
I've had better.
Something different. I didn't say it was the best. I said it was a cool show. But I'm just saying, you get all these voices in a room that are like different, that have never talked to each other. Yeah, I know. Like us, we're nerds at the end of the day, guys. We're nerds on YouTube at the end of the day.
So
and it's
great.
a little weird. It's kind of
Canada, Cornercade.
Hey, if you guys can make it happen, I'll pop on. Just let me know. Hey, Midlife Arcade, I see the support. Put that comment on the board.
Let's give me a podcast called Canadacade
for the community. Let's go.
Come on, guys, give me $5. Let's go.
Look at Pete Ups is about to like pop a fart.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
No, guys, stay.
Guys, no, Danny.
How many people we got watching tonight?
I don't know.
Well, actually,
No,
Mike,
Does it matter? We're here to hang out.
Hold on,
This is not
hold
a
on.
show.
I just want to point out that Mike technically doesn't need to be here because I have admin access to this account right now.
Oh, guys, hold on.
It's on my
Worlds are
channel.
gonna collide. Hold on.
Yeah.
Worlds are gonna
It's okay.
collide. If you give,
It's okay.
give me a
Mike,
wrench
Mike,
and
go
give me
spend time
access
with
to
your
the
wife
channel.
and kids.
Chat, if you're
Go spend
fine,
time.
if Mike Mike leaves.
Bye,
Let's go.
Mike. Go spend time with your wife and kids. We're running this shit now.
Guys,
hey, Mike,
I've already.
you're out. You're out. You're out.
He's gotta wake up Tommy in the
He's
morning,
out.
dude. Let's go.
He's out. All right.
No,
Cornercade.
no, no,
Arcade
no,
One
no,
Up 2024 predictions. Let's fucking go.
Hold on. We gotta. What do you think? Is Silver Strike actually gonna happen for New Wave Toys and Glenn, or is that like a big joke? Like,
Oh
that
my God.
pedestal thing?
I am so glad you brought that up, buddy, because let me tell you something, man.